Welcome to the St. Peter's Vicarage garden on this most unusual of Palm Sundays. I hope the following meditation helps you as we begin our walk on this year's Holy Week. Ride on in majesty. Hark all the tribes Hosanna cry. Thy humble beast pursues his road, with palms and scattered garments strode. This is a first verse from a very familiar Palm Sunday hymn, but this Lent has been anything but familiar. We began with our own voluntary acts of fasting and service, but now other forms have been laid upon us. We are fasting from physically spending time with those outside our own household, being able to embrace them when they are struggling, or celebrate with them as they mark significant milestones in their lives. We are even fasting from our own church buildings, those places of sanctuary, healing and peace. However, if we look hard enough, we can still find those things. This is a holy fast, because it is how we each play our part in protecting the health of others, known and unknown, and in the sanctuary of our own hearts. Surely that can give us peace. Ride on in majesty. In lowly pomp, ride on to die. O Christ, thy triumphs now begin, o'er captive death and conquered sin. We are doing what Christ came to teach us. Amid the grief and trauma, our eyes are being opened to what life is all about. The material world has slowed down. Creation is regenerating. And even though we are not physically together, our relationships too are being strengthened. We are learning what it means to live lives of love and service. And the hope that life goes on past the gate of human death has never been so strong. Ride on in majesty. The winged squadrons of the sky look down with sad and wondering eyes to see the approaching sacrifice. Today on Palm Sunday, we enter into the holiest time of the Christian year, as we mark the moment Jesus entered Jerusalem for the final time. He rode on a colt, fulfilling the words of the prophet, and the people, so bowed down from years of oppressive Roman rule, cheered. They broke off palm branches from the surrounding trees and waved them as he passed. Hosanna, they cried in triumph. Hosanna to the King of Kings. Ride on in majesty. Thy last and fiercest strife is nigh. The Father on his sapphire throne awaits his own appointed Son. They thought their time of freedom had come. It had, but it was not what or how they expected. Jesus had come to set them free, but it was nothing to do with the Romans. His was the eternal freedom of forgiveness, granted through God's unending love and compassion for each one of us. Such freedom is not one lightly. The road to forgiveness can be hard, painful and sacrificial. But on Palm Sunday we can rejoice, because Jesus walked it for us. God's love was so deep that he held nothing back. He stood amongst his suffering world, and we received our freedom. Ride on in majesty. In lowly pomp, ride on to die. Bow thy meek head to mortal pain, then take, O God, thy power and reign. When they had come near Jerusalem, and had reached Bethphage at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, Go into the village ahead of you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied and a colt with her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, just say this, the Lord needs them, and he will send them immediately. This took place to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophet, saying, "Tell the daughter of Zion, look, your king is coming to you, humble and mounted on a donkey, and on a colt, the foal of a donkey." The disciples went and did as Jesus had directed them. They brought the donkey and the colt, and put their cloaks on them, and he sat on them. A very large crowd spread their cloaks on the road, and others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. The crowds that went ahead of him and that followed were shouting, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord! Hosanna in the highest heaven!" When he entered Jerusalem, the whole city was in turmoil, asking, "Who is this?" The crowds were saying, "This is the prophet Jesus from Nazareth in Galilee." True and humble King, hailed by the crowd as Messiah, grant us the faith to know you and to love you, that we may be found beside you on the way to the cross, which is the path of glory. Amen.